Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Back with you with another Spirit-led teaching. Part 4 of Discerning between Corruption and Uncorruption. And we'll get right into it. Part 4, Galatians 6, 7 through 9. 7 says, "For be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man or woman sow, that shall they also reap. Because spiritually, we sow spiritually, whether we know it or not. Because we're either in a fallen state spiritually, or we're in a risen state spiritually. And I'll explain the difference as we go through it. For they that sow to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, and they that sow to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting." What does it mean, they that sow to the flesh? When we're in that fallen state, sin has conformed us to the flesh. All we can sow is to the flesh. We're referred to as the natural man and woman. Now, what you see in the flesh is the external male and female, but the fallen man and woman is called the natural man and the natural woman because they're limited to the natural. So when they sow according to the flesh. But they that sow to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. Because you're sowing in that fallen state, but they that sow to the Spirit in that risen state shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting according to the fruit of the Spirit. According to the fruit of the Spirit. 9. "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." What does it mean, well-doing? Abiding in the Spirit. Because you see, when we're limited to the flesh as spiritual men and women in that fallen state, limited to the flesh, all we could pursue was the things of the flesh. We were pursuing necessity because we were blind to prosperity. But once alive in prosperity, that's where we're sowing to the Spirit. Now, we're going to have the provision. Once you're alive in prosperity within, Christ comes through the soul to the body by the fruit of the Spirit without. And then he will add to you the provision of the Spirit, minimally, until you get to the place of abundance where he manifests everything to you that he has for you. Why does the Lord want us to own it before we have it? For this reason. He's not going to permit us to labor for it. You see, with the Lord, in the world, when you labor according to the flesh, you acquire some at a time. Because that's how Satan does it under this world system. The Lord doesn't play with that. He gives it all to you at once. This is what I love about it. You get it all. He gives it all to you by faith. And it all manifests to you at once by sight. It all manifests at once by sight. You're not giving your time. The Lord doesn't want us. He wants us to redeem the time. Not spend time in vain pursuing things that it takes you a lifetime to acquire, but only a moment to lose. Because death, just like that, it's not going to take it from you because it was in the world before you came into the world. It's going to be in the world when you're back beneath the world, pertaining to the flesh, but your spirit going back to the Lord to be judged in the Spirit. All right. So let's keep things in divine perspective. In divine perspective. I'm not one of them people that tell you money is evil. No, it's good to have money. If you got a lot of money, that's good for you. If you make a lot of money, that's good for you. But don't get caught up in the moment of it. Don't get caught up in the moment of the superficiality of it. Always see it from the big picture. You know, Have it, but don't let sin through it have you, because this is what Satan is using to make slaves out of people under this world system. So be not weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. 2 Corinthians 4 says, for this cause we faint not. Though our outward man perish, because the outer male and female, that's corruptible. Though the outward man perish, yet the inner man and woman is renewed day by day. The inner man and woman is renewed day by day, and the external male and female regenerated or quickened by the fruit of the Spirit day by day. Okay. 17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, it worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. A far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. 19. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are spiritual. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. See, it takes us back to Colossians 3:1. If you be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ sitteth at the right hand of God. Okay. 2 Corinthians 5, 16, 17. 16 says, wherefore henceforth know we no man after the flesh. Know we no man or woman after the flesh. Yea, though we have known Christ after the flesh pertaining to Jesus, know we him no more. Know we him no more. You're not following Jesus anymore. Remember what Jesus said in Luke 14:27. He says, whosoever does not come after me and take up his cross cannot be my disciple. When you take up your cross, you're crucified. You crucified to sin in the spirit, and the soul and body dies to the fruit of sin. To the fruit of sin. You're crucified to the root of sin, and the soul and body dies to the fruit of sin, which is what I was kind of struggling to say, kind of struggling to get it out. This is why it says we don't know anyone after the flesh. Though we've known Christ after the flesh, know we him no more. We don't know him after the flesh. We have to be completely crucified to sin. If you, Luke 14:27, Jesus said, whosoever does not come after me and take up his cross cannot be my disciple. When you take up your cross, you're crucified to the flesh. You're crucified to the flesh. If you are crucified to the flesh, you're crucified to following Jesus by sight in the flesh. You're now in Christ by faith in the Spirit. Watch the next one, 17. Therefore, if any man or woman be in Christ, he's a new creation. He's a new creation. The former things have passed away and all things have become new. Because you're operating in the newness of the Spirit. You're walking in the newness of the Spirit. And it is my prayer that God bless you all through Christ and brings you into the revelation and knowledge of Christ. And that you know what it is to be rich. To be really rich. The real kind of rich. Not the things that make us look rich. Okay. But actually becoming rich. To become what you thought you were pursuing is an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing. We are more valuable than everything in this world. We are more valuable than everything in this world. What does it profit a man or woman to gain the world and lose their soul? What does it profit a man or woman to gain the world and lose their soul? Love you in the Lord. See you in the next teaching.